In this video, we're going to go ahead and take the AirPods 2 and compare it against its predecessor, the AirPods Pro. Let's go ahead and get started. So here's a quick recap. These two AirPods got released during the same year of 2019, just the AirPods Pro are 7 months newer. So they're about 7 months apart. Why did Apple release both of them like this? Who knows? Some say it's due to the AirPower, which got canceled because of a quality control issue or other hardware that just wasn't working out very well. But needless to say, these two are the latest AirPods. Now these AirPods 2 are the wireless charging version that have a starting price that starts at $199 US. And it's $40 less for the non-wireless charging case. So it starts at $159. And honestly, I've seen the standard AirPods 2 go for even lower, especially on Amazon. So feel free to keep an eye on the comment section. I'm gonna go ahead and pin whatever deal I find of these AirPods. But unlike the AirPods 2, the Pro only comes available in one configuration. And its starting price starts at $249. So for an additional $40 compared to the AirPods 2 with the wireless charging case, what do you really get? Well, for starters, as I mentioned, the wireless charging case is standard for the AirPods Pro, and unlike the AirPods 2, the Pro is the only one that actually comes included with a USB-C to Lightning cable, which can be a pro and a con. A con being, in case you don't own a USB-C power adapter, or you may not own a latest MacBook Pro with these USB-C ports or other devices, this can be a problem because you will be required to actually buy a USB-C power adapter. But if you own any of the recent Apple products, I'm sure you already have a Lightning cable laying around somewhere. So you could be good. Now it can be awesome being able to wireless charge your AirPods by placing them on a wireless charging pad, but this method takes a little bit longer. So I know a couple of people with the wireless charging case and they prefer charging it with the cable, myself included. It charges up faster whenever you plug it into the port directly. In other words, for the AirPods 2, the wireless charging case isn't really a must-have. So side by side, the two cases look almost identical. It's even more identical when you flip the AirPods Pro case sideways. But I really do like this capsule design that Apple kept even on the AirPods Pro. It's slick, it's minimum, it doesn't have any pointy edges, which means you could place them in and out of your front pockets just fine. And that magnetic lid, even on the Pro, do an excellent job of making sure everything stays shut and the AirPods don't fall out. On the back side, we still have access to the pair button in case we have to pair it to an Android device or a PC computer. But since both of these AirPods do have the H1 chip built into them, both can automatically pair to whatever Apple device you're right next to. As soon as you have the lid open, you can just simply tap connect and you're all set. And as soon as you have it paired on one Apple device, as long as you're on the same iCloud account, it's automatically paired across all your other Apple devices. Other similarities between these two AirPods is its battery life. Both of these earbuds are estimated to achieve 5 hours of audio playback time. Just however, with the AirPods Pro, since they do have the active noise cancellation feature, when this is enabled, it loses 0.5. In other words, you could get 4 hours and 30 minutes out of a single charge, which isn't bad. Then with the case, that is a total of 24 hours of playback time. And just in case you have to, both do offer the same fast charging feature. A 5-minute charge will last the earbuds an additional hour, and both are indeed using the latest Bluetooth 5, which means their range is really good and they're very energy efficient, as you just saw. Stereo calling is supported on both of these AirPods, and the microphone quality is also the same across these two. For example, this is the microphone quality from the AirPods 2. No enhancement has been done to the audio, and I didn't do any edit to the audio clip at this part as well. Just if I may add a personal preference, when it comes to answering calls, I prefer the AirPods Pro because the noise cancellation works even when you're answering a phone call. Because as you may imagine, in public places, it's easier to understand the caller and hear them better. So by now, we should be familiar with the look of the AirPods. Some people love it, some people hate it. A lot of people are gonna criticize it because it's Apple. My take, I really don't care. As long as it gets the job done, I'm satisfied. And yes, they do remind me of that one Pokemon. But between these two AirPods, this is the quick rundown. The Pros are indeed 0.1 gram heavier compared to the AirPods 2, but once you have them on in your ear, you don't even notice this weight difference. The stem is shorter on the AirPods Pro, and then when you look at the AirPods 2, they look exactly the same like the very first generation AirPods. Which means if you ever experience any fitting issues on those first generation, well, you're gonna experience the same fitting issue even on the AirPods 2. which was why Apple went with this design for the AirPods Pro. This in-ear design allows it to fit comfortably inside the majority of ear canals, and it comes included with 3 different fits to find the perfect seal for you. And then a unique feature about the AirPods Pro, when you remove the tips, you have easy access to clean up the speaker grill right there, as it's not like inside or anything like that requires you to grab a Q-tip, kind of like what you experienced with the AirPods 2. The AirPods 2, it's somewhat more challenging to clean, but this design is awesome because once you're done, the tip just clicks in and it stays in. And there's also a fitting test you could do if you're unsure if the tip you selected is good enough. It plays like this sound test that uses the built-in microphone to detect if there's any leakage, and will let you know in case there is and tell you what size to change it to. I've never seen other earbuds do this before. I think this was a really cool feature. So although the AirPods 2 doesn't have an official water and dust resistant rating, these somehow managed to survive splashes. There's like YouTube videos out there of them going in wash cycles in the washing machine and somehow surviving. And if you went to any local gym, I'm pretty sure everybody or majority of people are using AirPods. So even though they don't have a water resistant rating, I myself have trained with AirPods and they somehow managed to survive my sweaty workouts. But the AirPods Pro are the only ones that are actually officially water and dust resistant rating, as they actually have a rating of IPX4. So these are guaranteed to survive splashes and sweat. So they're perfect for the gym. No, they cannot be fully submerged, but you can use it outside without fear of them breaking during a storm. And then other similarities include the same music controls, which you can view the graph right here. It's nice, but however, it's missing one thing. That is, there's still no volume control for both of them. So you still need to rely on asking Siri to adjust the audio, your iPhone, or if you have an Apple Watch, you could just use the digital crown to adjust the volume. Now, new for AirPods, you know how the AirPods 2 use touch sensors to toggle these commands? Well, the AirPods Pro are actually using force sensors, and you need 2 fingers to toggle these. And after using both, I actually like Force Touch better because it actually gives me a feedback sound and I don't have to readjust them like I typically would sometimes with the AirPods 2, because sometimes when I'm running or doing some kind of outdoor activity, I usually tend to press a little bit harder and I have to readjust those AirPods. With the new force sensors that the AirPods Pro have, I don't have to readjust them or anything like that because I'm not really applying that much pressure or moving them out of their place. So although that new touch sensor is new, it's really easy to get used to. But both still offer the same pause and play feature. As soon as you remove one earbud out of your ear, whatever you were listening to, it's automatically going to pause and resume back as soon as you place the AirPod back. Hands-free Siri control works for both of these since they are still using the same H1 chip. So announced messages work for both of them as well. And even new features that was introduced on iOS 13, such as audio sharing, both of these AirPods are fully compatible. But now let's finally go ahead and talk about what separates the 2 AirPods from each other. Starting with the AirPods Pro. The AirPods Pro has a few different modes. One of the modes is the transparency mode, and this is activated by simply holding down the stem and it immediately switches from active noise cancelling to transparency mode, and this transparency mode works extremely well. In this mode, you are not only able to listen to your environment, what's around you, but if you're listening to audio, it actually mixes the two without losing as much audio quality in your music. And during conversations, it doesn't amplify the voice like some other true wireless earbuds do. Those that actually have a very similar mode like ambient mode like on the Galaxy Buds. This transparency mode sounds really natural. Apple did a fantastic job in tuning this. And active noise cancellation is actually really impressive as well. I use this mode indoors, outdoors, at a gym, and really does an excellent job in noise cancelling. I want to say it's almost similar like the new Solo Pros that got released. They're that good. Stay tuned for that review. Now there's 3 different ways to enable these modes. The first one was press and holding on the stem as I previously mentioned. And the other way, you can actually go on your iPhone on your control center, bring out the control center, long press on the volume rocker, and then you can select them from here. And on your Apple Watch, you can actually do it from here as well. And thanks to those exterior vents, if you turn it off completely, it doesn't give you that vacuum seal as I was talking about earlier. And well, the AirPods 2, although they don't offer this feature, when you place them on, you can still hear your environment just fine. But the way I'll describe their experience, they're basically the wireless version of those headphones that you get whenever you buy a new iPhone. And then sound quality wise, the AirPods Pro, obviously they have their advantage. Listening to music with the noise canceling enabled, comboed with those silicone tips, I noticed the bass sounds absolutely incredible. The lows and the mids, the vocals are clear. Those new drivers that Apple put on these AirPods Pro sound really good. But I still have to say, the AirPods 2, I mean, they still sound really good for what they are. There's no muffle effect when you're listening to a lot of bass, but for overall sound quality, I mean, the category goes to the AirPods Pro. So all in all, my final verdict would be this. If you're debating between these two AirPods, and if you're on a budget, but you want to get some solid, true wireless earbuds, you can't go wrong with the AirPods 2, especially if you find them on sale. Then if you own a pair of AirPods, like the first generation ones, it's honestly your call. I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do. But from my experience, if I was in your shoes, if I still had my first generation AirPods, by this time I'm pretty sure if I still owned them, they would probably be having battery life problems. If they were having battery life issues, that's a really good excuse to buy the AirPods Pro because you already waited long enough. But now, if you own a pair of AirPods, it doesn't matter which one, it could be the Pro or the 2 or even the first generation AirPods, make sure to check out this video right here as I go ahead and show you a bunch of cool, awesome hidden features, tips, and tricks that you probably didn't know you could do with your AirPods. And then this video over here is all the accessories I have on my AirPods. In case you were wondering what accessories I have, I cover it all right there in that video. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.